This is what I normally use to focus on the podium, as you can see. It's fine. It's a public meeting, we're not on commercial television, but thank you for the ask. But just do what you got to do.
Okay, council, Robbie's coming. We're short 2 tonight. Shelley will not be here and Joe will not be here this evening. Robbie, I think, is on the way. So welcome to our study session, the March 5th edition. Just an observation, Chief Blair was about a minute and a half late, and he's got to understand that it's further to get here now than it used to be. Just an observation. So you're up.
You're first on the list.
You're up. I was going to wait and see if you needed to take that. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
It's been a little bit of a hectic day.
yeah, I'm sure it has. How first, how did the day go, and how did the weekend go? We had a great ribbon cutting.
I am extremely proud of my staff for how hard that they worked the last 2 days moving stuff. Well, not the last 2 weeks, really. And I even had my own kid.
I'm sure you did.
He reminded me several times throughout the weekend that I did not lift a finger and he did all the work. But great first day. Always with the new building, there's bugs, things like that you got to work out. But the good thing is they were all minor.
Great.
That we've had to work out, and so I'll take those. I'll take 100 minor bugs over a really major one. So
Great.
Awesome first day. Still in shock and disbelief, and I have learned now that just something about staying in that environment now, I even feel like I have to act professionally now. So I'm working on that.
Very good.
Just want to kind of give you all a real quick down and dirty update on where we ended the year this last year with our crime statistics. Not really anything of a shock. Not much has changed since the last conversation we had. I guess back in November or December. But we did on a positive note end the year with our Part 1 crimes being down by 4%, and our Part 2 crimes, which are the secondary offenses, the forgeries, the stolen properties, vandalism, things of those nature, being down by a little over 5%. So a combined total average of 4.62% for a decrease in crime over last year's numbers.
I'm looking at the October report, and they pretty much mirror the October report.
Yeah, pretty. Once we start getting into that November, December, you don't see a whole lot of change.
Yeah,
it's colder. People aren't out as much.
This is a total year, though, right?
Yes, this is a total year.
Very good.
Of concern, of course, is the same thing that we talked about back then, was the rise in the violent aspects of some of the crimes. And as you can see, those have been some pretty dramatic increases, 58%, 109% increase in reported rates. And so those are things that are concerning with us, for us. Especially with the sex offenses, I think a lot of it really kind of boils down to education, and we're going to really put a big effort forward this year to do some educational things on those. Typically, those type of crimes are not somebody's being snatched up walking down the street. It's usually a known offender.
Yeah.
And so those are a little bit harder to prevent unless you do it through an education process. So we'll work through those. And then I just wanted each of y'all to have, by your districts, what the kind of top crimes were for your districts, and a breakdown on that. I did find it kind of interesting to note that our calls for service have decreased a little bit as well. And then the number of written reports that we've taken, very, very slight decrease, but it's relatively stayed about the same as what last year's was. So. And I will welcome any questions that y'all have about anything that we're doing or incentives that we have going on. But kind of in a nutshell, is I think the violent crime thing is concerning to us, but overall, I still would say that we had a good year. We still did see an overall decrease in crime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhat surprised by the 911 hangups.
Yeah, there are a lot of those. And sometimes those are, there may be a callback on 911 where they called originally and then they're calling back saying, hey, the officers aren't, they're pulling up right now. Sometimes those things. Sometimes, especially people still have the cordless phones, as you know, those will ring 911. And it shows up as a hang up if the batteries start messing up on them. So you can't, they're not all legitimate, hey, they're calling us and then cranking and hanging the phone up. There's a lot of factors that go into that.
That makes sense.
With just a little time to look at ward issues, is there any significance by parts of the city that stand out to you that need more priority?
Not other than what we're already prioritizing. The southern sector of our city still is the high priority area. And obviously, with working with this purpose-built communities thing that we're going to start working on and all that, I think we're going to go a long way to addressing some of that in addition to just the enforcement and outreach efforts that we're already doing in that area.
It's easy to spot where it is.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Comments, questions from council?
Good update.
We appreciate all the extra effort through all this, and the rewards are now here
They are.
as you are. So we're getting started on 18. So I don't know. I won't be here, but council, a mid-year update on this kind of thing comparable probably on 18 when he gets the numbers through June on a calendar year. Could we ask for that for council? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we don't have to do it by quarter, but mid-year up to date.
Absolutely.
Just this little thing here will be, to me, would be sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That'd be great.
Thank you, John.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone here to appear before the council on any item that is not on the agenda? Okay. Scott, if you can take us through the agenda.
One presentation tonight for Souls for Souls. Like it's a yearly proclamation that we do, and so
Comes by every 5-6 months.
it does seem like it sometimes.
It
doesn't
does.
And in communication reports, council, are the items you'd like to report on?
Well, I think we need to comment again on the ribbon cutting. Such an important function of the city. I'll do that on the police station, and then I would comment on. I noticed this morning on the staff update the thrust to lower accidents. I think that's a worthy, very worthy effort that you're making. Thanks staff for doing that. It saves time on the job. It saves injuries. It saves money. It's worth a priority. And I noted that with interest this morning when I saw it on the staff update. So I'll comment on that.
Okay.
I'd like to mention the accolades that our indoor sports complex have received.
That'd be great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, it is. It's such a young facility to already have #1 in the Midwest. Really a tribute to yes, and real tribute to the designers and they're working with our staff to come up with the right design, but then our folks to operate it in a way that continues to get that kind of accolades.
I believe that has to really help our marketing efforts to bring tournaments.
Absolutely.
It really was rewarding to see that we were #1, but it meant more when you started looking through who was number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
we're on the top of quite a significant list
And there were some of
around.
those that were smaller facilities.
Yeah,
One in particular was 1,000 square feet. I mean, huge facility. And it was like, it was six.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
all
It's not all size. Yeah.
It's
So that's great. Well, that'll be a great comment, Danny. Thank you. Anyone else?
All right.
Okay.
Very good. I may note during staff portion that I failed to highlight during the ribbon cutting the importance of court, and in the move we kind of got excited and failed to recognize our court staff and the importance of court in the whole public safety process and move, and so do that. And then also Anna Kangas, I didn't get a chance to, or I failed to recognize her personally. We talked about how important the design build was and working with all employees, but you know, on a limited budget with limited amount of time, a new design build process, she really personally stepped up and has left her fingerprints on this great project, and so I do want to recognize her during that time as well.
I'm going to have one more too as I look back through, and that's the Old Town Cape annual dinner. Very significant, the crowd that was there and the momentum that's going on in Old Town Cape needs to be made mention of. So I'll do that.
Okay. Anything else? We have 4 public hearings tonight. Note the first one is for a rezoning on Southwest End Boulevard and Walnut Street. This is the item that we discussed last time, and so it'll be a public hearing for that rezoning. Chad Hartle made a presentation last time, and so this is that beginning of that process. Second public hearing is for a special use permit for installing a shipping container within the interior restaurant at 118 Seamers. This is the Sugar Fire restaurant. They're using it for essentially decoration and in the inside of that. So planning and zoning approved that, and so you're having a public hearing for that special use tonight.
You know, I think that's exactly what we wanted to happen when we made that ordinance. You know, this is probably a no-brainer, but that's the things, if we didn't have that ordinance, that could get away from us as we move on. So there's a process that it go through, or go doing through the process. This is okay, this is fine. But I'm still very pleased that we've taken the step on the ordinance on the containers.
Mayor, if I might add, we've had several communities that have asked for copies of the
Have you? Good.
Jackson.
It's on their agenda.
Other areas of the state are looking at.
Yeah, it's on Jackson's agenda tonight, public hearing tonight. Very good. Okay.
And I think we've found a balance in that through that process. The third public hearing tonight, and the first 2 are on new ordinances, so we'll be looking at those tonight. The third public hearing tonight is for the formation of the Cape Dogwood Community Improvement District. This had been talked about last time. We actually set the public hearing last time, and then it's been advertised in the paper. I understand on the first draft of the agenda, it was not on here, but has been added as amended. And so the formation of that CID and the is on tonight's agenda, and then a public hearing to consider the proposed development plan of that 10-acre property there on Independence and Sheridan, which is the Cape Dogwood CID. So those 2 are on tonight's public hearings.
And both of those we will remain open and continue to the next meeting. And then also, council, those will, since they weren't on the original we'll need to adopt our agenda as amended to include those two, number 3 and number 4.
Absolutely. On the consent agenda tonight, we have the second and third readings for the sale of the fire station on Prairie Lane. We have the resolution authorizing the license and indemnity agreement at 132 North Main Street for a canopy awning. Number 8 is 4 hangar lease agreements out at the airport. Number 9 is the adoption of the capital improvement program. Of course, this is something that we've been working on now for several meetings and have had hearings and interaction with council. And now then this is the last step is the adoption of the CIP, and that will happen tonight with the resolution. And then the number 10 is the acceptance of some bridge repairs that were done on 2 different bridges by Thomas Industrial Coatings. So that's the consent agenda for tonight. Are there any items you'd like to remove from the agenda tonight? Not, then we have the new ordinances. We have the first 2, 11 and 12, which are from the public hearings. And then number 13 is a general warranty deed purchasing some property in the Red Star area. This is a piece of property that is made available, and so we're purchasing that, and this is the warranty deed to do that. First reading of that, and then the number 14 is the first reading of repealing limited parking along Whitelaw, which is just off of Broadway, Whitelaw Avenue there. Allow street parking all times. We have 1 appointment tonight. It's to the Board of Adjustments. Mayor?
That'll be Charlie Hobble for a new term. Okay, any other business to come before our study session? I have one item. Been brought to our attention through the group that has the Dock City group that has casinos, that there are 2 items that are of concern. Number 1, the Osage Nation is looking to bring some land casinos into the state of Missouri, and there's a concern about that. We have traditionally been a riverboat city, and we've got 13 licenses, and they're all taken, and that's a concern of all of the cities, and I think it should be a concern of us, and a concern of a support to our business, the Isle. And the other one is sports betting, and in Missouri, that's kind of bubbled up a little bit. Some of the other dock cities have prepared a resolution in opposition to both of these, and I would like to open it up to council for their input, but I'd like to have staff prepare the resolution for our next meeting and support that, and for ourselves as a city, and also in support of our business, very successful business, the Isle of Capri. So comments from?
I would be in favor of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, those casinos that are Indian casinos don't fall under the gaming commission's purview.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah, because it's been very tightly run and managed in the state of Missouri, and to me, rightfully so. We were fortunate to get that 13th license, and to me, we should continue to run that business from the state with the way it's been run. So that's suitable with all the council. We'll ask staff to prepare a resolution to support that opposition, as many of the other dock cities are doing. So
I think there's a third item that they are concerned about also is this video poker that are potentially allowed at convenience stores, truck stops, and that's another component, I believe, within the resolution that at least one I saw.
Yeah.
That is a threat as well, and one that again is
That's
is
kind
a
of
threat to the business as well as the quality of gaming, if you will.
that video lottery is in that package too. Okay, can you get that prepared and bring it
Yes.
to our next meeting? Any other business to come before us? Yes.
And I'd like to introduce the newest Alliance representative.
Thank you.
Brian Piper. He is Kevin Priest's replacement. Brian, if you could just get up and introduce yourself and tell us where you came from.
Evening. Brian Pieper, been working for Alliance Water Resources since 1988. Worked at a public water supply district number 2 in western and southern St. Charles County for the last 29 years. I've worked my way up through the industry. After graduating high school, attended college, working my way through college at the same time. I decided that the water industry appealed to me, the type of work was real steady, so I decided to devote all my time to working for Alliance Water. Again, started up in management in about 2000, running a customer service crew, mostly similar to what I see down here. In 2008, I jumped over to the water maintenance side of things to run repair crews full time. Enjoyed that immensely, real similar to what I see down here with the staff. I became the overall manager of all field operations in 2012. I was a staff of wastewater, customer service, water maintenance, and a large water treatment plant located in Defiance, Missouri. Again, great opportunity to manage staff in all facets of the water and wastewater industry. Again, the opportunity came about earlier this spring for me to transfer, or this winter, to transfer down the Cape. I was looking for a change. I was in a high stress kind of a area that I really plateaued in my career at the location I'm at. So I decided to make the change and come down here. So again, public speaking, not my forte, obviously, but I'll try to get better as we move along. So just real quickly, personally, married, 3 children, one of those in college, one in high school, getting ready to graduate. He's going to go off into the military after he graduates. My youngest is a sophomore. She'll be moving down with my wife as soon as the school year is over. So we're looking forward to getting my family, my kids all back together down here and really enjoying the community. It's just been a blessing so far. 3 weeks has flown by. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at learning names yet, so the names on the table obviously help me. So again, I'm looking to provide great service to the community. Anything you need on the water end of things. If I can't do it, obviously, you all know Mr. Garrity. He'll forward on what I need to know. And again, my job is to try to make your lives as easy as possible, I believe. So that's the way I'm going to approach the job at hand. So again, looking forward to it. So any questions you may have for me?
Very good. Well, 3 weeks, and I've seen you several places and visited with you a couple times. So obviously you've hit the ground running. So again, welcome officially.
Thank you. I'll be more prepared.
No, that's great.
Sorry, we intended to introduce Brian at the last meeting. However, our work study agenda went long and it just got lost in the shuffle, so I didn't want to lose the opportunity.
Okay, great.
I did not know I was going to do that.
Well, I definitely.
Again, welcome to Cape Girardeau. Welcome to Alliance.
Thank
That's
you very
great.
much.
Very good.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Brian. And thank you for Molly for catching my, almost missing it again. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, we, council, I need a motion. We do need a closed session, legal action, litigation, confidential communications with our legal counsel, personnel manager, personnel matters pursuant to section 610-021, 1, 2, and 3, including property. Guard,
I'll second that.
seconded by Essner. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we'll stand adjourned and we will reconvene at 7 p.m.
Clear sky. Nice. It rained one day and it
I don't. I think.